Okay, we are all set to go. So thank you guys all so much for signing in, and I'm going to turn it over to Julia.
Hey guys. Okay, well, let me get my glasses on here. All right. Okay, so today we're going to be working on learning how to actually make the base of our journal here. Let me just, get this so I can see you guys all real quick. Jane, do you know how I make it so I can see everybody?
I am not 100% sure. I know you can go up to the top right, and you can, like I see a with 13 people there.
There's
Oh,
something
well,
you can
do now. Okay, I'll try it this way. All right.
There's something you can download.
Huh?
There's something you can download that makes you be able to see everyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I have it. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
I got it. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Can you take a screenshot of
the
it?
name of it? Just drop it in the chat for me. Okay, so I'll walk you guys through in the meantime like this. So what we're going to work on is making actual journaling. I'm going to show you guys step by step. So we'll walk through what you need, and then if you want to do this at your own pace, or if you want to follow along and ask questions as you do it, either way is fine. But what you're going to need to start with are 9 sheets of your watercolor paper. You're going to need some embroidery floss, or if you haven't gotten that in just yet, you can use really thick string too, and that'll work just fine. You'll also need an embroidery needle or a thin nail. Then you're going to need your hot glue gun and glue stick, a pair of scissors, and then these last 3 things are optional, but I think they're kind of helpful just for like working on this if you happen to have them, but it's not essential. So you could use a binder clip, which are one of these little guys, and you could also use a piece of cardboard and a hammer. Okay. So for the first step, what you're going to do is you're going to take the watercolor paper and we're going to fold it in half hamburger style. So just so everybody knows what that is, we're not going to fold it the long way. We're going to turn it sideways and fold it in half this way. So I'm just going to line up those edges, make sure they're nice and even. This part's important. Really make sure that you get those edges as even as you, because when we go to stack all of our pages, we want them to line up correctly. So one by one, I'm going to fold them. So I have 8 of these. So step 2, we're going to stack all of those together. So let me just do one more so I can show you how I want you to stack. So I'm going to fold another one. And what I'm going to do is to bind the folded edges and make sure that those are all lined up, lay them one on top of the other, like that. So you have 8 of them folded in half. Okay, so step 3 is we're going to want to draw small dots along the edge here. I'm going to do mine in marker so that you can see just how what the distance is going to be. But I recommend you guys do them in pencil, that way you can erase it. So I'm going to come along the folded edge, not the outer edge. And I'm going to do a little dot, I'd say every 1.5 inches. And let me just do mine, and then I'll hold it up. Maybe that's a good inch. Okay. So let me just see if I can get this so that it's not great. Okay. You guys can kind of see I gave a little bit of space away from my edge, so that when we go to tie the binding, we don't want it to rip right through the paper. So make sure that you give it a little bit of space, and then I'm doing about 1.5 inches between of these dots all along the binding. All right, so for this next step, this is going to be where you can start using your binder clip optionally if you want to. I'm going to take all of my pages and line them up. Oh, and just real quick, so you don't have to do these dots on every single page, just on your top page. So I'm going to line all of my pages up so that the folded edges are all together. I give them a little tap on a piece of, like on a hard table so that they all line up well. And then I take my binder clip and I hold them all together. So this just helps it not to move. Okay, so we're gonna punch the holes next. There's two ways you can do this. The first way is if you don't have access to a hammer or a nail, you can just use your embroidery needles. And what I'm gonna do is, without the floss to start with, just to kind of floss in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my needle and I'm gonna lay this down and I'm gonna poke through that first piece of paper. It's easier if it's on a hard surface, but I'm just trying to show you guys. So you poke through and just keep pressing until eventually it goes through all 8 of them. This does take quite a bit of effort and some time, so be patient with it. It could take a good minute, so just really be patient. And once it pokes all the way through, and you first recommend, you can go back in and thread through your embroidery cross into your needle. And what you're gonna do then, you're gonna take it, pull it all the way through the first section, and then I'm gonna take my scissors, and I'm just gonna cut that end, so that I have that. I'm gonna tie a knot. Nice and tight like that. You really don't want it to wiggle around. I'm going to tie another knot just to make sure it's really secure. Okay. So once it's nice and secure, you can then take the scissors and cut away the excess so that it's pretty close to the binded edge. Okay. So what you should end up with are a bunch of these where each of your dots are. And at that point, you can take away the binder clip. Now I'm going to show you guys the other method in case you do have a hammer and a nail. I find that this way is a little bit faster versus doing it like one by one, pushing that needle through. So what you could do is take your binder clip, secure it, and I just got a little tiny like wall hanging nail. That it's small, and I'm going to lay a piece of cardboard underneath my edge like that. I'm going to lay them on a flat surface, and then I'm just going to use a hammer and try to just tap right. This will help if you go by just a little bit quicker. The one downside of doing it this way is that you really have to keep going, take that binder clip off a couple times, and shuffle to make sure that all the edges are lining up, because as you get it with the hammer, you'll find it'll start to do this. It'll start to kind of shift. So just make sure that you keep them all lined up throughout the process. Okay. So once you have all the holes punched and you have all the embroidery floss, here's the drop. Well, once you have all that floss through, we're going to go ahead and put this to the side for a second, and we're going to pick up our nice piece of watercolor paper.
Julie, can I ask you a few questions?
Yep.
Okay. So the first thing is, would you be able to show us a trick? Do you know the trick to threading a needle? Some of our kids might not have ever threaded a needle. Some of our kids may never have threaded a needle.
Oh, yeah. I can show you guys. Just grab my floss. So it's a little bit easier with embroidery floss than it is with a regular needle and thread. So let me just cut mine so I can show you guys. The reason it's easier is because this part of the needle here, where the little opening is called the eye. And typically on a small needle, a lot through. But we're lucky because with the embroidery needle, it's nice and big. So what I'm going to do is I take my cloth, pull it out, and make sure you have, if you can, get like a really sharp pair of scissors. We're just going to clip it. So we have a fresh edge. If you find that the edge is like frayed out, you don't want to use that side. And with the embroidery floss, it's really quick that it can get frayed. So make sure that you have a fresh edge. So I'm going to take that edge, and it's quick for me as I go like this, and I just kind of lift it, like tight together. I take my needle, and I just put the thread right through the eye of that. It might take you a couple tries if it's your first time. Pull that through. And I line up the two sections of the thread just like that.
Perfect.
Okay.
And if I can get everyone, other than Julia, go ahead and put your mic on mute. That way other people might not be popping up on the camera, and that way we can keep the camera on her. And then if you do have a question, feel free to pop in at any time, but this way the camera will be focusing on Julia. So if anyone doesn't know how to mute it, let me know. And Julia, would we, if we don't have that binder, can we use paper clips?
Yeah, that could work too. Really anything, even tape could work. The only thing with the tape is I'd use like painter's tape if so, because you don't want it to rip the watercolor paper. But with the binder clips or the paper clips, you're just trying to keep it all together. So you can do it with your hands, but the paper clips might make it a little bit easier too.
Okay, and then what you showed us, should we wait until we have all, I think you said 9?
All 9 of the piece of watercolor paper?
Yeah, like you were doing it with a couple sheets. Do you want to wait until we fold 9 sheets together?
Yeah, before you start putting the holes, I would make sure you have all of your sheets folded together and lined up, because you want to make sure that, again, it doesn't shift around. Let me just get my example here.
Okay.
So you don't want to do them necessarily do one sheet, then pull it out and do another sheet. You want to try to press them through while they're all lined up. That way your holes stay all lined up. Because if you try to do them one at a time, like one sheet and then another, it's going to not line up quite as well as you want it to. So have all 8 of those folded and have your 9th piece off to the side, because we're doing something else with that 9th piece.
Okay, and do you want them to have their drawings already finished on those sheets before they actually do the sewing and the binding?
Nope, we're going to start off just making the journal itself. And then what we'll do is we'll add to the cover once we do our embroidery and everything. So in the meantime, we're just going to get the journal going. That way we can actually work inside of it.
Okay. All right.
Okay. No problem. Okay, so also after you guys are done threading it, it's important that you put a knot in the end of the thread. So you got your needle on this end, and you're going to take that spare end over there, and I'm just going to pull a knot through. Just like that. All right. Okay, so step 6, like I said, we're going to put our pieces that we've punched those, we're going to put those off to the side for now. And for step 6, we're going to pick up that 9th piece of paper that we had. And what we're going to do with that is we want to hold it the long way like this. And we're going to cut a strip that's about, I'd say, 1.5 inches wide. So what helps me is you can either use a straight edge, or I just like to fold it. So I have a little guide for myself. So a strip like that. And the reason we're cutting it on the long edge is because we want it to match up with the edge of our pieces of paper that we threaded. So got that all folded. Now I have a little guide. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. Okay, so you should have a nice long strip that looks like that. And I'll give those that are following along just a minute to do that. And I'm gonna load my hot glue gun in the meantime. Okay, so once you have that strip cut and you have your hot glue gun ready to go, what we're gonna do is put a really thick line of glue right down the center of this strip. You can leave the edges open, you have to put glue on those just yet, but I'm gonna show you how I do mine. Okay, so give me 1 second to do it on a flat surface here, and then I'll hold it up so you guys can see. Okay, so if the light, hopefully, there we go. So you guys can kind of see I've got a nice thick bead of glue going all the way down the strip. Really quickly, before it dries, you're gonna take your edge that's all folded up and all of your floss should be all threaded through at this point. You're gonna line it up and just press it right into that bead of glue. Like that. It's easier if you do it on a flat surface. Don't do it like I'm doing it where you're holding it up, but you would lay it down, press it down firmly, and just hold it for about 30 seconds until it dries. So I'm just going to do that with mine and press it down real quick. Okay, and this is what you should end up with then. Just kind of a little, almost like a little T, like that. All right. Give it a few more seconds to dry, and then the next step is you're going to be folding it over. So step 9, we're just going to take it and just kind of fold it on each side. I want to create almost a crease on each of those edges. So let me do one side at a time. I'm going to fold this one first. I'm just kind of squeezing and trying to get a nice kind of like solid edge on it. So I did one side there, and you can see how it's laying down nice and flat like that. I'm going to flip it over, do the same thing to this side. So I'm just creasing it. And that should give us 2 nice folded edges like that. Okay. What you're going to do for the last step is after you have those 2 edges, we're going to take our hot glue gun and we're just going to flip up the side of those. We're going to take our hot glue gun and just glue a nice thick line of glue right along that edge. So do one at a time. And what this is going to do is it's going to hide all of our little binding knots. And it's also going to just give us a little extra security holding the whole thing together. So I'm just pressing that down, making sure it's nice and secure. And I would recommend do one side at a time. Don't glue real quick and then glue the other side because it probably will dry a little bit too fast. So I'm doing one at a time. And I'm smoothing it out, really pressing along that edge just to make sure it's secure. I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing to this side. Nice thick line of glue. The key here is to really use a lot of the glue. Even if some of it kind of like squeezes out the edges, that's totally fine. It's better to have too much glue on this than too little, because this is the thing that's holding our whole journal together. Okay, so once you have that, you should end up with something that looks like this. So it's going to look kind of like a real book. And if you want to open it up, I would say make sure that you let that glue dry for at least like a minute before you start flipping through the pages. because you don't want to loosen that bond. But you should be able to open it nice and flat. And because we lined up the pages the way that we did, most of them should open just to a full like spread for you to work on. So it's pretty nice. I accidentally did a few too many dots, so you guys won't see these. You'll just see your little binding floss. If you don't like doing a color binding floss, you can of course use white and then it won't be as noticeable, but it's totally up to you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and just flip this over, and I'll take any questions if anybody, you know, had anything that seemed a little bit confusing on that. So if you want to turn your mics back on real quick, and I'm gonna try to get it so I can see you guys. Okay.
Julia, if you wouldn't mind going through and giving us like 5 seconds on each of the pages. Yeah, that way we can, if someone goes back to the video, they can check out each page. So just give me 5 seconds and flip it.
Sounds good. Is it in focus for you guys? 'Cause it looks a little blurry on my end. Because I can bring it closer.
Just the right part of it gets blurry.
Let me just see if I can. Let me get out of the frame. Maybe that would help.
Yeah.
How's that?
It's clear enough.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. And pull that back just a little bit. We can't see the bottom sentence. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. All right, great. That should help if they need to go back. And does anyone here, I know 8 of our students do not have the embroidery. Who absolutely doesn't have anything to use that? I can make sure I drop something off so you can at least do this binding. So if you don't have any embroidery or nails or hammer, well, actually I should say nail or needles or any thread, holler out to me.
Oh.
I don't hear anyone. Anyone? Everyone's okay who hasn't received their embroidery kit? They have something at home they can use until then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If not, let me know. How about you, Faith? Are you good?
Yeah, but my mom has some embroidery floss. So.
Okay. Perfect. And let's see here. Haley, are you good? You have some embroidery needles and thread?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try to have everyone have this new journal finished by Tuesday. Does everyone think they can do it by Tuesday at the latest? Hopefully before then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Julia, back to you.
Okay. So what I wanted to do now is if anybody finished up their drawings, I just wanted to go through those like I mentioned last week and just see if we can give you guys some feedback. So if you guys want to share those and just pop them up on the screen, we can kind of take a look at them. Also, the person last week that I mentioned to, I was going to send those scans of the book that I had. Can you please just pop your email into the chat again? Because I can't seem to access it from the old message. Somebody asking a question, apparently. Serenity, are you asking a question?
Okay, do you guys, Julia, do you want me to call out the students individually?
Yeah, yeah, if anybody has work, I don't know who brought stuff, but that would be helpful.
Is Tallulah here?
Yeah, I'm here, but I don't really have anything for it yet.
Oh, Tallulah, you're breaking my heart.
I know, I'm so sorry. I know, I've been doing I haven't done anything. Okay, I still want to do my tea like journal plan thing for mine, but I don't know. I've just been distracted doing a bunch of other like kind of projects still. Like I've been actually trying to learn how to like bookbind with like sewing, but I yeah, I don't know. I haven't done anything with it yet.
Well, you guys got your kit just the other day. Thanks to your mom for picking it up. Wasn't it nice? It's fun to get the kits. It's like, oh,
Yeah, it's
really
so
cool.
nice. Thank you so much.
yeah. So, okay, so you have a great idea, and we'll have you check in Tuesday. Make sure you have the book.
Okay.
And what are your goals? What would you like, or Julia, what would you like to see from her for next week?
Well, really, I'm looking for everybody to have the journal finished if they can by next week, because what I'd like to do is start getting into that cover design and everything. Assuming that we have the embroidery. So yeah, if everybody could just have that finished, that'd be the main goal for it.
So maybe even having the journal finished by Saturday, like built by Saturday, because everyone, it sounds like you have all the supplies you need. So that way Tuesday you can try to have at least half of it finished. That way you know Friday comes and you'll have something present. But it's good that you're experimenting with embroidery. I know right now it's hard to get motivated to do anything, and so don't panic. And we'll look forward to seeing it next week. And how about you, Shanti?
Well, I made a journal. I used coffee to stain one of the watercolor pages, and I ripped the edges, and then I made smaller ones, and I tied it with string.
Can you hold it back a little farther?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
And then I did some print on it and stuff.
Very
But
nice.
then on the inside, it's like,
That's really cool.
Yeah. So do you have experience binding?
no, but I've been doing a lot recently,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know.
Well, that's great. It's great. Both of you guys are experimenting with that. So what are your ideas for this particular journal then?
I'm not quite sure exactly my direction.
Well, it looks like you're very capable of putting one together and getting it done. So we'll look forward to seeing what your theme and everything is next week. And
Yeah.
you got Tallulah by you to run some ideas off of. So
Right.
that's good. Serenity, do you want to tell us about your ideas? I know you had a lot of them last week. If you can unmute. And then if you can see your picture too, if you can turn your camera on. All right, all right, now we can see and hear you.
Okay, so yeah, I'm not really sure about my direction with this. I just really started like working on it. So yeah. I don't have much of a theme for it yet.
Can you show us the images?
The images?
Yeah, show us what your book looks like or what your drawings look like.
Just drawings, not from the book? Or
Yeah, whatever you've been working on, you can share whatever you have.
okay. Here's some. I'm so terrible. stuff that I've been like this drawing.
Oh, I
that
think
I've
we
been
lost
drawing.
your video. Can anybody else see her?
I can't.
Do you guys see that? This drawing?
No, your camera's off.
Oh. 1 second.
And Jaya, you might want to mute yours for a second. Oh, okay, so now you're presenting.
This is one drawing that I've been working on.
Wow.
Oh, cool. It's nice.
And there's another one.
Nice.
Just some things I've been drawing.
How do you do these? Are these on like an iPad?
A few of these are on iPad. This one, yeah, this one's from an iPad. But yeah, some of
love
these
the
are
coloring.
like traditional. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Now, on the Dead Girl Walking, were you able to use some of that wet on dry that Julia talked about?
Yeah. I
Nice.
painted acrylically.
Great. So what's your plan of action then for this week?
To finish this journal, pretty much.
Put together the one she showed us how to make today?
Mhm.
All right. And you think you're going to be able to fill it out too next week?
Yep.
I don't think that's going to be a problem for you. I think that'll be easy for you. Awesome. Well, thank you. Anybody have any comments for Serenity? I know I told you guys all to mute your
Actually, well, if anybody's unmuting in the meantime, I really like your iPad drawings. That's something too where if you're working on something on the iPad, you can always do a printout as well. So you can use those in your journal, especially if you wanted to incorporate that in the collage material, you know, when we start working with combining papers and stuff. Might be really cool to have a few prints of stuff that you've done on the iPad.
Definitely. Those are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's move on to Makayla. Is Makayla still with us?
I think I got a notification she left.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Makayla left earlier.
okay. Makayla has a little one, I think a 3-week-old, not even a month-old baby. So, Lucy, you ready? And Serenity, you can go ahead and mute. All right. You got the floor or the, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just finishing like punching the holes in the journal, so I don't have any drawings yet. So
No? Okay. Did you have an idea yet for your journal?
I think so. I think I was gonna do like a medical journal kind of thing, but like make up my own kind of conditions and stuff. I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, Lucy, I think you were the person I was going to send those images to. Drop that email into the chat for me because I couldn't find it.
I think that was Emily's.
Was it Emily? I'm sorry. Okay. Is Emily here?
Emily said she would be late today, but I don't know. She might not just make it. She was doing the botany, the plants.
Oh, okay.
But were you, I think you did say something about having some skeleton or pictures, maybe for Lucy too. I could be wrong.
Well, what are you thinking with medical? Like, what direction are you going in with that theme-wise?
I'm not sure because I do a lot of like illustration work too, so kind of like that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well,
Sounds really cool. Either it'd be neat. options for that. There's like, so many. Are you thinking more animal illustration like anatomy or maybe human?
Probably human.
Okay, cool.
Have you heard yet, Lucy, about your summer program?
I'm not sure yet. They've been giving updates, but I'm not really positive it's going to happen. So
Right. Lucy got a full scholarship to study at the Cleveland Institute of Art this summer.
Oh,
So
congratulations. That's awesome.
thank you.
Julia got a residency in NYC that she's probably hoping. Have you heard anything yet, Julia?
I'm still waiting. They've been moving around because the first program looks like they have to shift some stuff. So I'm still kind of waiting to hear.
Oh yeah, I think everyone's in limbo, and I know Alana, Carly, and them. Have you guys heard from Nissa? Oh, you guys probably have your mic. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had heard that they had canceled this, like the summer program, but that they were going to offer free online classes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that'll be interesting to hear. Sorry, that's disappointing for sure. You know, the idea of going away, especially now that you've been cooped up for a month, probably would be really nice to go away for a month to Fredonia. Well, I'm sorry to hear, but I'm glad to hear that they're going to go online. You guys will be pros with that by then. All right. So Lucy, I think you'll be able to get that book together. Well, you already have your book together, so it'll be nice to see some illustrations then from you next week. And just an idea that I'm throwing out there, because I know you have incredible drawing skills. Think about the idea of maybe one page. I don't know, Julia probably knows what you call them, like where you could make like an arm come out or something like that.
Like a pop-up kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know pop-up, but more like but
Like
you got like a what?
Like a pull tab kind of thing.
Yeah, that could be or a pull tab. Yeah, that could be too. Or I was thinking when you put like a little grommet in there, and almost like if you had a clock and you could spin the dials, but something like you could spin the hand out and the arms or the head up or something. That could be interesting. So that could be another challenge with your anatomy book. Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
About including like not necessarily pop-up elements, but attachments and stuff. I do know a little bit about that because I do card making, so we could always like learn some tips on that. If you guys want to.
That could be fun. And Lucenzo, so are you, I know I talked to you before we actually started the meeting. Lucenzo, are you there?
I'm still thinking about what I'm gonna do. I want to kind of do like flowers and bones, like I said already.
Nice. So, Lucy, I'll go ahead and have you mute then. So Lucenzo, you think you'll be able to get your book together and get the illustrations on for next week?
Yeah.
Excellent. I think you can too. And you do a lot too on the iPad, correct?
No.
No? Okay. I'm completely wrong. Okay. Julia, did you have anything?
No, I think that sounds cool so far. I think a good thing when you're working with like botanical illustration and everything, because you said flowers and skulls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just to pull up as many references as you can. How do you see in terms of oh, yeah, sorry, there's a little delay.
I definitely use a lot of references in my artwork.
Perfect. What's on your sweatshirt?
What?
Go ahead.
Oh, what's on your sweatshirt? The image on.
Oh, this is the Rainforest Cafe. It's where my dad works.
Can you hold it up a little bit? Okay, very nice. I just saw the botanicals, so I was wondering.
Yeah,
All right.
but what I was going to say was with the references, I was thinking as far as like, how are you going to make this into a theme? Are you just going to explore different types of skulls with different types of flowers, or just like human skulls with all different flowers? What are your thoughts on that so far?
I'm thinking about a bunch of different types of like bones, not just skulls.
Okay. Yeah, well, check out that Handy app. I think I mentioned that before to you guys. That has an awesome library of references for skulls that you can rotate like any direction and light it however you want to.
All right. Thank you, Julia. Thank you. Renzo, you can turn off your mic if you like, and then we'll go to Kiera.
I don't really have anything new from last week.
Okay. What have you been working on, or have you been working on anything this summer, or this week?
I've been pretty busy with schoolwork this week, so I haven't really had a lot of time to like think about my idea more.
Some of these schools, they just keep coming at you with work. What was your idea? Did you have? It seems like you did have some idea that you're playing around with.
It was kind of like ghosts and like stuff like that, because a lot of my friends are into that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you have a great idea. Do you think you'll be able to build the sketchbook and get some images in by next week?
Yeah, I can.
All right, excellent. And then how about if we go to Alana? Alana, you are on mute. Oh, perfect.
There we go. Yeah, because I had missed the first meeting, I was a bit behind. So I don't have like a full finished idea for my thing, but my idea had been like using something with incense, because I collect a lot of that. So I had my test paper out. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh.
But like that's one of my concept ones, and then I have like the actual left, whatever is left with my burnings that I'll stick on when I paint it.
That's a really
very
interesting.
nice.
I like that. Oh, can I see it again? I want to see those little top images, little 3 squares.
Yeah, it'll show.
Oh, okay. Are those just like brainstorming ideas for the color schemes?
Pretty much, yeah. I wanted to use the like contrasting colors stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, that's kind of cool about like in the journal itself almost, just to see those steps. I think that's really visually interesting.
I would encourage you too to think about how the color, like looking at that, it reminds me more of a floral, a sweet type of smell. So what colors are you using to convey how those incense smell? You know, is it more of a cinnamon or musky, or, you know, think about and be purposeful with some of the coloring that you do to kind of get us to feel what that smells like, or a sense of that smell.
Okay.
Very good.
It could work into your journal some sort of text of a description of the smell, maybe over some of the drawings. Just an idea for it. I think that could be kind of cool.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Alana. Carly, you want to give us an update?
I created 2 character designs so I could just like use them as a base for my drawing. So I have those, and then Here's one of there's a castle and there's woods. So it's gonna do more with that. I have a bunch of thumbnails, but they're not in my sketchbook because there's
Those look great.
thank you. I made a dress too, or right there. That's it. It's supposed to be like rose themed, but I also drew some mermaids because they're fun to draw.
Well, can you hold them up for a second? I didn't see them. They didn't pop on the screen. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like you've been busy. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It could be interesting if in your book, what if you created like a pocket in the back and maybe made some of the dresses where you could take a dress out of the back and put it on the character? Or change your clothes? I don't know, because you've developed so much there. So that could be kind of interesting, or maybe the dresses changes the color. I don't know. But since you're so far with your ideas and stuff, that could be an interesting challenge.
Yeah.
And would you mind sharing the portrait you started this week and have been working on in addition to all that?
Yeah, sure. I'll grab it real quick.
So has your school been more lenient in schoolwork?
Pretty much. It's alright. Kind of a lot, but
You're just drawing and painting all the time then?
oh yeah. Here's that one.
Great.
I also had something I wanted to show Julia that I finished. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, nice. Hold on one sec.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold it up because oh my gosh, yeah, that's your boyfriend, right?
Yeah, that's him. I'll take a look in a minute. Hey, is that your other portrait too in the background?
What?
That looks awesome. Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Carly, that's
I think there's a
incredible.
delay, maybe. Yeah. Amazing. That's so good.
Thank you.
Wow. Looks just like him. You know what? Can I see the ear? And ear? Let me see the detailing that you got on that.
Okay.
Wow, great job. Ears are so tricky, so I'm impressed with that. That looks awesome. And I think you like really captured his eyes well. Good job.
Yeah, it was fun.
In the corner there on the couch, is that your other portrait that you're working on of the girl from Instagram?
Oh, which one? The
corner of it in the frame there, I think, on the couch.
Is it this?
Yeah. How's that coming along? Yeah.
This one?
Oh, that one. Okay.
Oh.
Nice. Wow. Love it.
Yeah, the one the girl from Instagram. It went really bad because I kept changing it and it kept getting worse, so I kind of gave up on that.
Sometimes they get away from you. It's tricky, you know. Portraits are all give and take, like we talked. But I'm sure it's not bad. I'm sure not.
Oh, well, thank you. And if you and anyone else who showed if your sketches and the portraits, if you can take pictures and send them to me, and you know, like Serenity, I don't know if she's still here. I would love to. I'll have to ask her to send some pictures when she did on the computer. Those are just so gorgeous. Those are the things that I need images of all the time. But thank you for sharing all that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we will go to Faith. If you want to mute your microphone then, Carly. Faith, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I haven't really done much of anything either, so I don't know. I kind of felt guilty about that.
I'm sorry, that
I
broke
can't
up.
really hear.
And I haven't really done much of anything lately, so I felt pretty guilty about that.
No guilt here. We're just trying to keep you motivated. The meaning of this class is not to make people feel guilty. Trust me. And sometimes we're feeling more motivated than others. Do you think that you'll have time to actually do the book binding and stuff like that until you feel more motivated to do some of the artwork?
Probably.
Okay, well, hopefully once you have the book, you'll be motivated to fill it out. But if not, maybe I'd encourage you to just make a second book. That way you're doing something productive. And then,
Okay.
yeah, and then, you know, when inspiration hits, then you'll be prepared.
That sounds good.
Any encouraging thoughts, Julia, for?
Yeah, I think if you do find that you're stuck, something that you might want to start exploring would be working with those pieces of paper that we have for collage. Maybe even something just as simple as picking out patterns that you think will go well together, and just try that on one page of the book. If you're feeling, you know, like you're a little not inspired just yet, just try it on a piece of scrap paper, and we can always incorporate that onto the book as well. So, you know, whatever it takes to get inspired, you know. Some days I don't feel like doing art at all, so you know, I'll watch a movie, a book, and just get inspiration from that. So, you know, you don't want to force yourself, but try to do stuff that'll get you inspired.
Yeah, I was thinking about like just using the book for art prompts.
Oh, nice, yeah. Like a sketch of the day kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right,
Okay.
well, that's good. Yeah, you're thinking about it, and very good. Don't feel nervous. Even though I call upon you guys, you know, it's okay to share that you just haven't been motivated, and hopefully you will eventually get so motivated that you create lots of books. And, you know, that's part of it. You might also find that you love binding books, and, you know, who knows what you'll get out of this class, but we're here to help you kind of get through this time that can be really a struggle for all of us, staying in and having all this time, but then not always being productive can be frustrating, but that's where a lot of us are. All right, thank you very much, Faith. You can go ahead and mute it. And Haley, if you want to unmute and tell us what you've been up to this week.
I haven't really done much, but I got this done for the journal.
Let me see.
Ooh, nice.
It's supposed to be a statue.
Oh, cool. Okay.
After didn't really it turn out that well, but still.
I could tell it was a statue. It felt very stonish.
Hold it up again real quick, because your screen was froze for a second for me. But I saw it. Yeah, it looks cool. What don't you like about it? I like it.
I don't know. I just there could be like more detail. It's kind of hard to get detail with watercolor sometimes. I guess.
It's a great base about when you're working with the watercolors is that I don't always necessarily keep layering with the watercolors. You can also go in with colored pencil after the watercolor dries and pull some of the details that way. And that way you have that nice watercolor base, but then it's a little bit easier to make sure for finer detail. I think it looks pretty cool, even just like that.
Yeah.
It's a good start.
Thank you.
And so have you ever done any bookbinding?
No.
No, you'll be able to. You have some thread and needles you'll be able to use?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, good, good. So, yeah, make sure you get to that and try to get it done by Saturday and try to get some of your images. What was it going to be about Aphrodite? Oh, yeah, you were going to do, what was it? Some of the
Like mythology.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it's a really beautiful start. So I think you should be happy and just get going on the book and then you can continue.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Haley. And you can now mute your camera and your microphone if you like. Wow, that was quick. Thank you. And Jaya, if you want to tell us about what you've been working on this week, that would be great.
Okay.
And we don't have your camera on. If you can show us your beautiful face. Oh,
Hi.
yeah.
Okay, so I was not sure on I didn't know I was supposed to like come up with a theme. But it makes sense. But so I just did this watercolor theme. Sorry, it's kind of graphic a little bit. But I wasn't expecting to show it. But she's like on a beach, like on a island resort thing. And I just was trying to like think of something like a different type of like going somewhere new because we have to like be in the house and stuff. And she's on like a pink salt beach, but I just started. So I'm using watercolor markers, so it's like more detailed because it's kind of hard, like Haley said, to make details. So this is what I have so far.
I like the depth you've got going with it, with the like it looks like a little tiki bar in the background. Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. And I think the watercolor markers, that must be nice to work with because you can kind of control the like how much pigment there is in that, right? So you can get like sharper lines with it. I've never worked with them, but I've seen them. They look cool.
Yeah, I just got them, so I'm like learning like I'm like experimenting with them.
Okay.
Nice. I would suggest I love how you have her hairstyle, and that's a little what do I want to say, unusual, and that's really beautiful. Some of those details you have there, and again with the drinks and stuff. I would check a little bit of the perspective, like the drinks look a little big for her hands. Maybe her hands could be bigger. Like the body and the head looks perfect, but the hands look a little short, so you might want to make those arms. And then when you're using the watercolor marker, maybe not outline everything, maybe outline like the right half of the trees, and then you fade or something, but really beautiful. I want to go there.
Thanks. Thank you for the constructive criticism.
Yeah, but her body and, like I said, her face and her head are awesome. I love her expression. Just yeah, a little bit. The arms would probably need to be bigger, and yeah, but really great. So now you have stuff that you can actually build the book with this week, then?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Very good. Well, thank you. That is everyone, I believe, that we have on here. Does anyone have any questions? And if not, I can give it to Julia to wrap up.
Questions? Okay. Well, that's it for me for the week. If you guys get stuck on anything, feel free to look back at the YouTube clip, or let me know if you have like specific questions that we didn't cover. But otherwise, yeah, just make sure that you're trying to do those bindings. Try to do them in one sitting if you can, because again, you don't want the holes to shift on it. So I'd say it'd be better to sit down and try to do it for an hour versus, do one and then come back, do one and come back. So just if you can find the time and the energy, just try to do it in one chunk of time if possible. All right.
Well, thank you. And I'll have to see, might take me a day or two to figure out how to get this on YouTube. But once I do, I'll email everyone with the link so that you can watch this if you need to. And so Julia, just to clarify for me, everyone else probably has it. When you're sewing the pages, are you sewing each individual page and then putting them together?
Nope. So what I'm doing is I am taking all those pages and I'm lining them up. Let me just make sure this is in frame. So I'm lining them all up.
Okay, so
flat.
8. Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna do. I'm gonna punch the hole through all of them at one time with my needle. So all of them will be lined and thread it through. But I would punch all the holes first, then go through and start to thread.
Okay.
So the only time you might do them one, if your needle, if you're doing it by hand, you might end up finding that you do this. So say you're starting to punch through and you find that there's some resistance. Instead of lifting up the whole page and doing like a whole nother one, what I do is I kind of just wiggle it goes through to the next page. So as much as possible, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that we want to keep them together rather than pull them apart.
Okay.
Get the holes to line up best.
Thank you. All right. So next.
Oh, sorry. What was it?
I think we're all set, and we'll see everyone next Friday at noon. And I'll send an email out with the link in case anyone needs that. And then if anyone has any questions, feel free to contact me or Julia before then. And we look forward to seeing your books next week. Thank you.
All right. See you
All
guys.
right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.
Goodbye.